a BIPS class or did not have one?
Do not.
Do not. And when do you anticipate we might have that?
Well, we're licensed to provide one. It's just the need. You know, we don't want to hire somebody to have it when there's no referrals have been made. By being a part of us, you have the authorization to have a BIPS class.
Marty, can I speak on that?
Please.
We have a couple people that are charged with domestic battery that probably will be coming into that program.
Okay.
So, I mean,
We have to have 5 units
Yes.
with the board
you have
last
to have
night
5.
before we can do a BIPS class. We had to have 5 for this time.
Just because of the need of the class, space, and all of that.
Yeah. If we can get 5, we can start BIPS,
Yes.
though, right?
How do we sentence somebody to the BIPS program when there is no BIPS
Which they have
program?
okay, put it this way, we've done it before. Such in Greenbrier County, you do have a BIPS program. Let's work with you. So you can sit there and say, basically, he's sentenced and like due to the BIPS open. Like for example, you'll sentence a person to the BIPS program, and as soon as BIPS is open, they'll join it. We've done it in Greenbrier County, other counties to that point. So then, once we know we have 2 or 3 perspectives or 5 perspectives now, because we already have 2, then we can open a class. It's not financially lucrative to have one person in a BIPS class. Then the only part we can do with that, we send them to Greenbrier County.
See, Rick, because they have one in the program right now for a domestic battery. That we sat down there last week.
So
But you got to be fiscally responsible in choosing, you know, you can't have just one.
yeah.
No, but there's going to be other people coming.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I
if there is that, there's 2 ways you can look at it. Since you brought the question up, we can look at who's coming and maybe who's already has been charged or in jail that should have been in the BIPS class and start a BIPS class. It's not a problem. You have the right to have one. You have the license to have one. We just need to have people to have one.
Mr. Minnick?
Yeah, I'm Dennis Minnick, and I've just got a couple questions for you. As you said, we got off to kind of a slow start with this program, okay? We were promised certain things whenever we first, decided to have you come on board to the county. It's taken a while. My question is this, okay? 2 of the most important programs that we need in this county were BIPS and DUI, okay? Along with NAAA, a lot of the other programs. Why do we have a problem, it seems, in coordinating effort or trying to foresee the problem, talking to the magistrates as to who is involved in BIPS now or DUI now, what our anticipation is, what are the possibilities? It seems like we're kind of chasing ourselves a little bit. I mean, to me, if you're thinking about a program, you should get with the people that are going to be sending these folks to the program and ask, what do you need right now? How many people do you expect? How many people are going to Greenbrier County? How many people are involved in it? And that way, I mean, we could cut some corners and maybe have this program here now already.
Try to better answer. The reason, once is, for example, coming into we consider a very dry county, and there's no providers to be here. Nobody wanted to provide service in Greenbrier because of the traffic. I mean, Rita, she went with me. We went to prisons. We went to jails. We talked to everybody we can to provide a service here. And there was nobody who wanted to provide or qualified. Now, remember that, qualified to provide services here. So it took us a long time doing that. Then once we got that going by signing contracts, then we have that. Okay, first step. The second step is you don't want to, company-wise, you don't want to base on what ifs. What if we get 10 people? What if? So you're having people sitting there making a salary or payroll for nothing. So if you want to waste your money, that's fine. I mean, it's what you want to do. If you want to sit there and pay somebody just to sit.
Well, I understand it, but what I'm saying...
I got 2 more parts.
Sure. All right.
So the second part to that is fine that once now, after talking to, looking at the jail system and talking to magistrates because they're making more referrals, the prosecutor attorneys on board want to make a referral, we can offer these classes. It's a stage, a process. It's a total process to make sure it's done correctly. You can throw things out there and haphazardly wish it works, but no. So now we do. We have the magistrate, and we have the permission to provide BIPs. Now, for example, to provide BIPs, it has to be a person who's licensed and trained. We have license, but there's nobody yet who's licensed to provide a BIPs class here. Okay. Now, that costs $4,000 to get that person trained out of Duluth and Emerge. Okay. So now we have somebody who Greenbrier does it, but they come all the way from Monroe County to provide in Greenbrier. So now I have to find somebody who's licensed to do it, to drive all the way here to provide that service. That's why Greenbrier has it. I don't know if he cut off or not. So that's the third part to it. So your DUI class is a very sensitive topic, very, very sensitive. I'm going to tell you why. When you go and apply, it's like applying for a mental health agency. You know, you go in, you have to write this long proposal, and they give you permission to offer DUI class with the DMV permission, the Licensed Board and Charleston permission to provide a DUI class in that community. Now, an agency like myself can't come in and take over that. They would not allow that. So Seneca holds the license. They hold the title to that. So for me to come in and take it from Seneca, it's going to be a fight. Even though they don't do it, they still have it. It's theirs. So now what I'm going to do is use the letter they wrote to the commission that they don't want to do it and say, fine, they have it, but they don't want to do it. So give me that permission to do it. So now then I hope to get the permission. Now, if they do not give me permission to do it, then I have to go and I go to battle with them like everybody else. I go and write the contract next year, and now I'm competing against them to offer that services, and most likely I'll win it that way. So the two things you're asking for is not an easy process. You have to have a licensed person to provide BIPs, and we don't have that person. You have to have an agency to provide the DUI classes, which Seneca owns that title. That's theirs. Now, how can we get that from Seneca? I'm going to ask you for your support, and I'm going to use their own letter against them to say that they have it, but they refuse to do it. So hopefully they'll give me that permission as a mental health agency to provide that service here. So the two things you did ask for and you'll get, it's going to take some time. It's not an overnight process. That is the only weakness part about it. And it doesn't happen to you, it happens everywhere. I fought for 2 years to get it in Mercer County, and I still don't have it. Because Southern Highlands does it, and they won't give it up.
Am I the only one that remembers the promises made when we decided to go with Mercer County?
I remember.
That's kind of what I was
Anybody else?
getting to also. I mean,
We were told that you had contracts and that you could provide these. Our biggest concern was getting services we needed in Pocahontas County.
Right.
And you assured us that you had everything in place. If we went with you, we would have the same thing that you had.
Okay, and you do. Name one thing you don't have that I have.
BIPs, DUI, I mean, that's the two that we're talking about so far.
We don't have DUI. We don't have DUI ourselves. There's no...
Okay, you're turning it around. I mean, what you said was that you promised us that we would have what we needed to make this work.
Yes. And you do.
Well, am I correct that if we had 5 participants, we could get the BIPS provider in here to do the
Yes.
class? We don't have the requisite number of
Right.
participants.
Show me where your BIPs are. I mean, your BIP participant. I mean, your magistrate can show me, your prosecuting attorney can show me, or your judge can show me the number of BIPs people. Show it to me. I do
You
it.
were just now saying that you don't have licensed persons that are willing to come to Pocahontas. You assured us we didn't have to worry about the fact that we're not easy to reach. Geographically, we are in a bad position. We've known that forever.
Right. So
You assured us we had nothing to worry about.
you don't have anything to worry about. It takes a process. We pay the cost of getting everything right. Now, for example, you don't have a process. We had somebody set up to come here, and we talked about it. They don't want to drive across the hill. Okay, so that's a shock to me. First they wanted to do it. Now they want to travel. I'm working on this small piece. The lady from the Department of Corrections is willing to provide BIPs. We just got that. And now that was a resource from your magistrate, commission, who took me to the jail system, and she called me last week and said she's willing to provide BIPs if we have enough people. That's good.
Am I correct in my understanding that the only reason we don't have BIPs is we do not have 5 people, and if we come up with 5 people, we'll have the program?
Yes.
Okay.
First, and that's good. I'll tell you why. Because I just think the lady from Denmark is willing to do it. So that's 2 things. But it's not an overnight process. I mean, you guys are a lot faster than anybody. It took us 6 months in some places to get started. 6 months. And really, we only did it here in 30 days or 45 days after we got through a lot of the personnel issues. So we're not that far behind. So now we got a lady from Denmark who provides BIPs in Denmark, is willing to come here to provide BIPs. Okay, now, if you got 5 people, let's do it. Let's do it tomorrow. Let's do it next week. Only thing I have to do is sign a contract with her. She wants to do it. But getting that person, it's not an easy task. I mean, you may decide to come to Pocahontas County, but then you change your mind, and the contract is done. I mean, that's the whole process. The contract was done. They didn't want to do it when they said they would do it.
I didn't think you had an NA class. You said you had an NA class. I didn't think that you had one. Do you have one, Mr. Raymond?
We send people.
Okay, I thought you was teaching.
AA.
Okay, AA class. That's what it is.
It's a
I
different
apologize.
Yeah.
Yes. Alcohol Anonymous, not Narcotics Anonymous. That's my fault. We have AA class.
Okay.
But we do utilize NA outside of our building. We send them to the library, just like we send people over to the Career Center for the GED class. That's where the GED class is being offered at, and that's where we send them to. So it's a program outside of our building that we expect them to participate in.
How many people do we have in the GED class now?
Between Marlington and Greenbank office, or the Greenbank school, I think the number is 6 right now out of the 13. And then you got to remember too, right now we've got, out of the 13, we actually have 3 people sitting either in jail or Pine Haven, awaiting a status hearing or coming out of Pine Haven. So we've only got 10 participants actively in the office at this time. So the ones that have a GED or a high school diploma, they're not mandated to go into the GED program. Those that come into our program that don't have